2 years ago, in 2011, I started a series where I looked at pay-per-views from 1997. I realised at the end of 2010, with my 10 years ago series, I wasn't really doing any more WCW or ECW shows again for a very long time. I thought long and I thought hard. I thought about a series where I could do shows I'd potentially never seen before, because in 1997, as far as I remember, I only watched the big 4 WWF shows. Since then, I've seen Canadian Stampede, I've seen Bad Blood, but most of the shows from 1997 from the WWF I've not seen, and all of the shows from 1997 from WCW I have never seen. In the summer of 2010 though, sorry 2011, or the spring, sorry, around May time, I got a fresh job where I was working ridiculous hours, which meant I didn't have enough time to do all the vids that I wanted to do. Something had to be sacrificed, and this series was the one that's been sacrificed, and to be honest, it is the one thing I get messages about more than anything else. Please, will you bring back, or will you finish 1997 Heaven? Now the thing is, when you get a message like this in October, it's one of those, but it wouldn't be right to start now. But recently, this last month or so, I've had a lot of messages about it. I realised I'd like to start this series again, and this week was a prime time to do it because I haven't got any secondary vids waiting. So, with that said, at high speed, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 97th Heaven. Tonight, as you can see down there, we're going to talk about In Your House 15, A Cold Day in Hell. I went to say Revenge of the Taker then. That was last month. Don't I speak fast, don't I, sometimes? Needed to get a lot out there. So, another show. We're just going to pick it up where we were last time. Last time, Revenge of the Taker. Main event, for example, was Stone Cold versus Bret Hart. I think it was a number contendership match. Winner faces Taker tonight. So, should we get on with this one? On the pre-show, Rockabilly defeated Jesse James. They had a good match at Revenge of the Taker. I'm sure you remember it clearly, from 2 years ago. On this one, they had another good match here. In fact, the match is so poor, they cut to Todd Pettingill in the back. James hits a nice DDT to get the win, but the only good spot on the show. Actually, no, I think it was Billy Gunn who hit the DDT. Now I think about it. Right, the first thing I'm going to say about this show is, right, I may have said this on when I did the 97th Heaven series before, yeah, but they feel so dated. And what I mean by that is, it's not that this one is obviously 14 or 15 years old now. What I mean by that is, I thought Todd Pettingill had been fired in like 1995. If I think of Todd Pettingill, I think of shows like WrestleMania 10, which is from 1994. I didn't realise he was still with the company at this point. It's got the old square WWF logo on, for example. No Vince on commentary, which is a bit strange, because, you know, I watched Canadian Stampede and prepared for this series a couple of nights ago, and he's there, so I don't know why he's not there. Anyway, opening contest was Hunter Hurst Helmsley defeating Flash Funk in a meh match. Funk doesn't have the Funkettes with him, which is a bit of a shame. This match is very meh. There's really not a lot to it. The best part is Flash Funk taking a sick bump as he's kicked off the apron, and there's a metal ramp, slope ramp, and Flash Funk lands face first on that. That's the high point of this match. I mean, China interferes a lot. Triple H's offense consists of doing knees and not much else. I mean, Flash Funk gets 2 off crossbody, goes for the 450 splash that he used to use as his finisher. He gets arm dragged off the top and pedigreed, and that's what gets the win. There was nothing special, there was no storytelling, the crowd didn't give a fuck, and it was boring. Next! We see some clips of Ken Shamrock, who's making his debut tonight. You may remember that Ken Shamrock was the guest referee in the Bret Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin match at WrestleMania 13. But tonight, he makes his professional wrestling debut, per se. I think he'd actually worked at other companies before working with the WWF, but his debut in the WWF is tonight. It's in a submission match against Vader, for some reason. So, I don't know why. Vader's not exactly the type of person I think of. When I think of great submission wrestlers, Vader is nowhere near the top of that list. Let's put it that way. Don't know why that's happening. But anyway, the point is, we see clips of Ken Shamrock in the UFC. I don't think that would ever happen now. But yeah, we talked to Kenneth, and he says he's in his zone, which is lovely. The Hart Foundation, also backstage, complete with Bret Hart in his wheelchair. Stone Cold Steve Austin had attacked him on Raw a couple of weeks before this, taking him out with a steel chair. Bret needed surgery, so they did this injured ankle, so Bret Hart's in his wheelchair. He'll be in that wheelchair for quite a while. Hart Foundation show backstage. They have 5 front row seats they've bought off a scalper on the outside. And then Mankind defeating Rocky Maivia in another meh match. Rocky dropped the Intercontinental Championship to Owen Hart on the April 28th episode of Raw. The build-up to this match, right, shows, they have a build-up package, and it shows Mankind's battles with The Undertaker. It shows Rocky Maivia's debut, and when he won the Intercontinental Championship from Hunter Hurst Helmsley at Tuesday, Bloody Tuesday, or whatever it was called. You know, that Tuesday Night Raw, whatever it was called, when Rock won the championship. So there's no reason to this match whatsoever, and there's no reason to care whatsoever. And that's not just from me, but from the crowd as well. Jim Ross notes that that Mankind could care less about his body, which is a very, very true statement. He could care less, a lot less more about his body. That's true. I mean, there's two good things about this match. Mankind does a rolling somersault off the apron, and Rocky does a rock bottom onto that metal ramp I was just talking about before, and that, I swear to you, is it. There is nothing else good in this match whatsoever. Mankind rolls through a crossbody attempt by Rocky Maivia, and as he's doing it, locks on the mandible claw. So when they actually come to a stop, the mandible claw's already on, and Rocky Maivia taps out. And that's the match. There is no reason to care. There is no heat at all from the crowd, because there is no reason to care. And I sat there trying to care, going, yay, love this match. And then, yeah, it's a match where it's one good move from each man, is what I've got written on the bottom. Farooq, Crush, and Savio Vega defeated Ahmed Johnson in a crap gauntlet match. Nice and simple here. If Johnson can beat all three men, the Nation of Domination have to disband. The irony being here is that in about a month's time, the original Nation of Domination actually imploded anyway. So, you know, anyway. But the point is, Gorilla Monsoon comes out to make sure the Nation, because remember, there's a lot of the Nation. There's Clarence Mason. There's a very fat-looking D'Lo Brown. There's those two guys, I think they were called PG-13, who used to rap them to the ring, you know, which I don't understand why. I mean, Farooq never looked like he was interested in the rapping whatsoever. And the rapping was terrible. I could do better, quite easily walk into the ring making up rhymes about wrestling than the shit that they're coming out with. So Crush starts off and he has a rubbish match with Ahmed Johnson with no heat, literally nothing of note. Crush goes for a heart punch, Johnson counters into a spinning heel kick which gets the pin. Vega's in next. He does better, surviving a power slam, for example. He gets a chair though and gets intentionally disqualified, which is lovely. Makes sense in context of the match, because that means that Farooq makes quite short order. I mean, no. Farooq gets Pearl River plunged, yeah, but kicks out, and that gets quite a decent pop, to be honest. But then Farooq does something that, you know, so many times in the Attitude Era as well, especially, you'd see Farooq hit the Dominator, you know, very rarely. And if he did hit it, someone would kick out, but actually he hits the Dominator and it gets the win. You're like, bloody hell. What have I just seen, sort of thing? And yeah, match was utter crap. The last 2 minutes were all right, but the rest of it was just pure, boring crap. What a wonderful pay-per-view this is. Well, isn't this one good? I wish I could remember what the Buyrate for this one was. I haven't said so. I'll put it in the description. But I'm pretty certain that the WCW show, was it Spring Stampede? Or was it Super Bowl? One of those two that was in April was probably a better show than this. I actually should have done some more research on this. I just apologize. Do you want me to wait? Can you wait for 2 seconds? Because I could find it so easily, because I've already got a YouTube window open here. Just bear with me, talk amongst yourselves. How's the weather where you are? It's sunny here. All the snow's gone. Fucking yes, spring is coming. Spring is definitely coming. YouTube window already open, so as I said, I'm sorry about this. I'm sorry. You can skip it if you want. Feel free to. I honestly will not mind if you want to skip this bit. Honest, please do. Because all I'm doing is just checking this. Spring Stampede 1997 was the April show. And it did tell me I didn't put the buy rate on it as well, did I? Oh, you know I did. It did a buy rate of 0.58. But look, because I'm a moron, I didn't put an overall rating on it. But when you see a show that's got 3 duds on it, actually maybe yeah, I'm talking crap. This show is probably better than it. Believe it or not. Wow, April was a fun month to be a wrestling fan. Back then, was it not? Wow. So, Ken Shamrock defeating Vega in a crap submission match. Wow. And I mean, wow. Ken Shamrock's music is so rubbish. After watching this match, right, I went on YouTube and I typed in Ken Shamrock's first theme. And everyone that comes up is a variation of his, you know, his famous theme. You know, the one that everyone knows, yeah? Not one of them is this theme. This theme is utterly, utterly shit. And it doesn't fit the character in any way, shape or form. Really, really poor. the thing about this match is, maybe it's the mark in me here, but there's a lot of strikes in this match that look like they're real. They really look like they're connecting. The kicks, especially by Shamrock, really look like they connect. There's one point, there's a punch by Vader out of the corner that really does look, you know, very good. And my thinking is that Shamrock, bear in mind he's an Ultimate Fighter, I think his punches and his strikes weren't particularly pulled. And I mean, Vader, of all people, who used to beat up people for fun, with you, was known for being very stiff. You know, he actually looks like he gets upset about this. So the one punch that Vader does out of the corner legitimately looks like he's frustrated. I mean, Jesus Christ, Vader gets his nose busted. He may have a broken nose, and also Shamrock wins with an ankle lock. And Vader looks legitimately hurt. The way that he sells it is either the best selling I've ever seen Vader do, or he's legitimately hurt, because he properly limps away up the ring. You know, the thing about this match is that every single submission move that Vader does looks woefully bad. He does a rear naked choke that looks awful. He does a sit-on armbar that just looks so poor. I mean, no. The match is just a mess, I think. There seems to be no chemistry between them at all. And like I say, everything Vader does in this match just looks pants. Apart from he does a moonsault, and that misses, but it looks really crisp and tight. Other than that, I mean, Jesus Christ, even the match-winning ankle lock is rubbish. The way that it's like Kenneth is underneath, and he sort of has to roll Vader around so he can get Vader in the right position to put the ankle lock on. And like I say, there's two types of ankle lock. There's the dreaded leg hug, and there's the proper one. If you have a proper ankle lock put on you, you know about it, is what I'll say. They fucking hurt. You know, trust someone who knows. They hurt. I never, when I used to do backyarding, I used to use the ankle lock all the time, if anyone remembers. I never put it on right because it hurts so much. It's like the figure four leg lock. I don't know if any of you've ever taken a figure four, but fucking me, if they're done right, they absolutely wreck. And I'm not just saying that kayfabe or anything. Genuine, utter, torturous pain. And it's your own body that's doing it to you. And I've gone off topic. Yeah, 1-star match because I'm very, very nice. And in the main event, we at least got a decent one here. Sorry, bear with me a sec. Yeah, The Undertaker defeated Stone Cold Steve Austin in a decent match to retain the WWF Championship. The only good match on this card is this one. Trust me on that one. So Austin defeated Bret Hart at Revenge of the Taker last month to become #1 contender, as we know. As they do the stare down, the Hart Foundation make their way to have their 5 ringside seats. Not 2 minutes go by before Austin is beating on Owen Hart in the front row, which is funny. Austin works a headlock for a long time. He goes to work on the left leg of Taker as well for quite a while, which is really nice stuff. He works on it for a few minutes and then gets launched to the outside, where Taker gets him back in and then starts to work on the leg himself. He does some really nice stomps to the knees of Undertaker. He does a single leg crab. It's good psychology. Austin wears that fucking great big knee brace. Why the fuck not? Surely, in fact, when you think about it, every single match that Austin's in, their opponent has got the psychology already there and waiting for him. Just take out the knees. But no, they never do they? No. What psychology and why should I care about it, sort of thing, you know? Austin comes back with a spinning toe hold, working the leg again, and a suplex. Taker tries a rope walk, Austin crotches him. A superplex is countered, but Taker then, Austin goes for a suplex because he's already crotched. Taker counters it, goes for an elbow drop, that misses. Sleeper by Taker is countered into a jawbreaker, which looks exactly the same as a stunner. In fact, Lawler even says that was a kind of stunner. And when you watch the stunner that he hits later on in the match, yeah, they're identical, and it's like, so what's the difference between that jawbreaker and the Stone Cold Stunner? Please tell me. I always thought the difference was that he did the kick one part, you know? But first, he kicked him in the stomach to bend him over and then did the stunner. I don't know. Low blow by Austin in the corner. Taker comes back with one of his own, and the crowd go mental for that, which is lovely. Chokeslam, Austin rolls to the outside, then comes back in, gets a stunner. Referee won't count the pin because Brian Pillman's on the outside. He's ringing the bell. Fantastic. They do a tombstone reversal sequence, and that gets eventually gets a tombstone for Undertaker, who gets the win. About 20 minutes, if I remember rightly. Hart Foundation attack Undertaker while Austin attacks Bret. He then steals one of Bret's crutches, charges off after the Hart Foundation to attack them, which is funny. And that's, the last thing we see of the show is Austin chasing the Hart Foundation up the ramp while Taker chases him. So that's an interesting one. Overall, though, ladies and gentlemen, there's 5 matches on this card. Yeah, 4 of them are utter drivel. I mean, the ratings for those 4 matches are in order. We'll do them in order, shall we? So we've got half a star, half a star. I didn't even rate that one because it is a dud, the Gauntlet matches. And no, it's half a star because the last 2 minutes are alright. So it's half a star, half a star, half a star, and 1 star, and a 3-star main event. Because I tell you why it's not higher. Because I reckon that, some people might give this 3.5, maybe even 4 stars. The fact of the matter is that both men worked the leg, and neither of them sell the leg whatsoever. So it's a 3-star match in my humble opinion. I mean, this show is rubbish, straight out crap. One good match that you could say it's not worth going out your time for, because of course the benefit of hindsight is that I know that coming up in the future there are quite a few really good Undertaker versus Stone Cold matches. This one, on the other hand, isn't. It just isn't. So, what do we give this show? Do we give it 2 out of 10? Do we give it 1? I mean, there's no duds on it, so I can't rate it a 1. I mean, a 2 is being generous, I reckon. A 2 out of 10 is, it's a start. It's 1.5 out of 10. That one match, the main event, is the one that saves it. Now, I can't say, ladies and gentlemen, with any certainty what was coming next, but as far as I know, this series is. We're going to get this one finished. I've already watched Canadian Stampede. My notes are on the computer here. They haven't, but that's not very good a couple months. So it's more than likely I'm going to do the King of the Ring next time out, because that's a wank show as well, isn't it? So I hope you've enjoyed this. I'm sorry I wasn't a little bit more prepared about this one, to be honest. I haven't got the Buyrate. It'll be down there, though, I promise you. And I'd actually forgotten that that's something I used to put on my vids. I used to put the Buyrate on there, so we'll do that. And I hope you've enjoyed this. Please let me know down there what you thought of this show. If you've seen it, if you've never seen it, maybe you're going to go and watch it and see what you thought of it, which I would genuinely encourage people to do. I hope you've enjoyed this vid. Like I say, hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Give me a like for my non-existent heel beard or something. Anyway, I've been Mark Peter and I've been waffling. I was going to say waffling and rambling at the same time. That'd be waffling, rambling. They're both the same thing. Shut up, Mark. I will see you all very soon. Take it easy, guys.